Fantastic. Today's session will be very amazing, and I want you to also invite people you think can benefit from today's session. So if you have a brother, you have a colleague, you have a friend, you know somebody who has been trying to get a job, you know somebody who has been trying to get visa sponsorship. They're in the UK, they're outside the UK, but they're trying to get sponsorship. Invite them to today's session. Share the link with them. I'll be sharing key insights, practical session, and we'll try to keep this under 2 hours. So I'll move very fast at some point. So I want you to have your notepad, a pen, so you can jot things down and take things away from today's session. All right. I'll do a little bit of introduction before we dive into the main meats of our session today. But I'll be the pilot for today's session. My name is Adeiza, and I'll be introducing myself shortly. Okay, so before we get started, I want you to type into the chat, where are you joining from? Okay, so let's know where you're joining from. If you're joining from anywhere across the globe, type into the chat and let's know where you're joining from. Okay, Naman is joining from the UK. Fantastic. Okay, Paratuzia is joining from the UK as well. So let's get more people. iPhone is joining from Nigeria. Absolutely phenomenal. All right, so let's get started. Like I said, invite your colleagues, invite your friend, invite somebody you think would benefit from today's session. Right, so let's get started. I'll drive the session today with my slides, and this slide will be available to everyone who stays from now to the end of the session. You'll have access to the slides. All right. My colleagues would also share some attendance form as we move on during our session today. So make sure you fill that attendance form so you have access to all the materials I'll be sharing with you. Now, we'll be talking about strategies to landing a visa-sponsored job in the UK. Now, if you're joining from Canada, you're joining from the US, you're joining from somewhere in Europe, from Germany, from the Netherlands, this is a session that would also benefit you because the strategies I'll be sharing with you goes beyond just the UK as a specific region. You can apply those same strategies to get jobs anywhere across the globe. All right. Now, before we get started and dive into the main meat, who are we at Tenalytics? Tenalytics is the leading educational technology company, and the focus for us is to help Africans in Africa and Africans in the diaspora to transition into the tech ecosystem. And over the last 4 years, we've helped over 2,850 people transition and land their very first jobs within the tech ecosystem across different areas, across the UK, the US, Canada, Europe, Africa, and so on and so forth. Now, the areas where we specialize on, the specific career path, are tied within the tech ecosystem, especially within the data space, from data analytics to data science to financial analytics, HR analytics, agile project management, and so on and so forth. And today, for me, leading the session, my name is Adeiza. For those of you that have met me before, and if this is the very first time, I'm a technology expert. I'm the founder of Tenalytics. I have over a decade experience in data analytics and management consulting. So for some of you who have no background, no knowledge, no experience, you are in the right place. Just like you, my first degree was in industrial chemistry. All right. Just like you, I did not study computer science. I did not study anything technology related as an undergrad. I studied industrial chemistry. My very first job was in management consulting, but I was able to transition into becoming a data analyst. And over the last decade, I've helped over 2,850 people also make that same transition from accounting to business analysis, from care workers to data analysts, from logistic professionals to data engineers, and so on and so forth. Okay, I've worked as a data science consultant in the UK, in the US. I've worked for one of the largest energy conglomerates in sub-Saharan Africa as a business analyst in the business performance unit. I've also worked as a data analytics consultant with FITC, owned by the Bankers Committee, the Central Bank of Nigeria. I've worked across 5 different sectors and I'll be sharing my experience with you today. Okay. Now, our session would cut across 4 key areas. First of all, we'd look at the in-demand career path. If you want to get a visa-sponsored job, you want that offer to come with a COS, and you want to use that to apply for your skilled worker visa. Which career path should you focus on? Okay, we'll look at that. Then we'll look at the strategies to deploy. Now, they say that if you don't have a direction, every road seems to lead you to the right direction, but that's you simply just guessing away your career journey. You want to have a direction. You want to know exactly where you're going to. How do I start and how do I end? So I'll be sharing the strategies with you. 4 key strategies we'll look at today. We'll also look at success stories of people that have leveraged the strategies I'll be sharing and how they've been able to thrive, get their visa sponsored jobs, and even get jobs beyond just the UK in other regions, in Canada, most especially, and the US as well. Then we'll look at how you can get started, the upcoming cohorts we have coming up in February, March, April, and so on and so forth. And finally, I have a special offer for those of you that stay till the end of today's session. All right. Now, if you are joining us for the very first time, I want you to type 1 into the chat. If this is your very first Tenalytics masterclass, we're having a masterclass today. Type 1 into the chat, okay? Oluchi, Lancelot, Adebukola, fantastic. We have quite a number of newcomers today. So as usual, 2 things I'll guarantee you today is you're going to get value for your time. That's number 1. Number 2, you'd wish you had known Tenalytics a lot earlier than today. Those are 2 things I'll guarantee you joining us for the very first time. Now, let's dive into the main meat of our session. Last year, because a lot of people would want to know, and it's good to always look back, what happened in the job markets in the UK, in the US, and so on. In my region, I want to know, did jobs grow or did it decline? The career path I'm deciding to move into, are there prospects? Would we likely have job growth again in 2025 or not? But let's look at last year and what happened. Now, in the UK in 2024, the UK experienced job growth compared to 2023, even though it was marginal. As of September in 2024, you had an estimated number of people in the workforce, in the tune of 36.8 million, which was an increase by 364,000 jobs. So 364,000 new jobs were added to the economy, which was a 1% increase from the same period last year in 2023. So 2024 saw an increase in the number of jobs by at least 364,000. And narrowing it down to the tech ecosystem specifically, you had a 3.4% increase compared to the previous year. Now, the reason why you want to be in the tech ecosystem is because of the exponential growth and the relevance of the career path within those roles. 3.4% increase. So in the general job market, you had just about 1% increase in the number of new jobs created and filled. However, in the tech ecosystem, the jobs grew by 3.4%. So there was job growth. And of course, we knew about this at Tenalytics because our students, our participants who had gone through our programs also landed amazing jobs, which I'll share with you as we move on today. Last year, Tenalytics helped over 350 people to land jobs in different areas in the UK, the US, Canada, across Europe, in different career paths. And I'll be sharing those career paths with you and why you must focus on those areas if you also want to get jobs, just like the people that got jobs last year. So we also had a 2.5 increase in the number of jobs, people that got jobs in 2024 compared to 2023. And we took our number from 2,500 who had gotten jobs to 2,850 as at the end of 2024. Now, the question is, where are the opportunities? Okay, where are the opportunities? Adeiza, you say jobs are growing, but I've been applying to jobs, but I'm not getting jobs. What's really going on? Or I've been trying to get sponsorship, but organizations are not willing to give me sponsorship. And that's why we are here. And I'll share the strategies you need to start deploying to get positive outcomes, positive results, and exactly what you need to do. Okay, so like I'll mention it again one more time. If you don't have a pen, you don't have a notepad, go get one. Ensure you're somewhere where you have less distraction because we're going to get practical and I'll show you practically some of the things you need to do. Now, when you narrow this down back to the UK, where are the jobs? You want to look at the tech ecosystem. Now, according to the UK government, Department of Science and Innovation, nearly half of businesses, 50% of companies in the UK are hiring for data related roles. So if you're a data officer, if you're a data quality manager, if you're a data analyst, a data engineer, a data scientist, a data architect, as a business data analyst, a HR data analyst, as long as it has data attached to it, half of businesses in the UK would likely hire you. Unfortunately, every year on year, you have between 178 to 234,000 jobs that are left unfilled. People don't fill these roles, and the roles are available. Some of the popular roles you'd see that people don't fill in the UK includes the data analyst, head of data, data manager, data scientist, data engineer, data technician, and so on and so forth. But the question is, why are these roles left unfilled? So imagine you're trying to get a job. You are in Manchester, you are in Leeds, you are in Southampton, for example. You're trying to get a job, and you know that based on the statistics, these jobs are available. 178,000 to 234,000 roles are available year on year. That goes unfilled. So the end of 2024, you had over 234,000 jobs that were not filled. Why are people not filling these roles? Two major reasons. Number one reason is people don't apply. Okay, everybody focuses on one specific area. Is either they're looking for jobs in the care sector, they want to become care workers because that's one of the easiest ways, maybe no longer the easier way, based on the new changes from the Home Office from April last year. Okay, you have people looking for jobs they can easily get into that would require more of their manual capabilities rather than cognitive abilities, like working in the warehouse, for example, and so on and so forth. So people don't apply. That's the number one reason. The second reason why you have so many roles left unfilled is simply because for those that apply, they don't have the required skills and they don't have the required experience. Okay. So you have so many roles that are left unfilled. Now, the question we need to answer is which of these career paths should I focus on? Okay, so Adeiza, you've highlighted a couple, and this was a report, generated by the government, the UK government, Department of Science and Innovation, and they were simply showing the roles that are high in demand. 50% of organizations would hire you if you have these data-related skills. And this takes us to the very first critical part of our session today. Okay, which career path should I focus on if I want to get sponsorship? Now, this is coming from over 3 years of research at Tenalytics, number one. And number two, based on our experience and the mentorship we've had over the years, these are the areas you want to focus on. And this is where you start to write. Okay. So, how did we come about this? The very first thing we do is every end of the year, we scrape data from the major job boards, read.co.uk, CV Library, Indeed, Glassdoor, Total Jobs, ZipRecruiter, major job boards across the globe, the major economies, the UK, the US, and Canada. We scrape these jobs from there. And then we analyze to see the jobs that have the highest frequency, which means they are high in demand companies are hiring for these roles. And then we juxtapose against three major criteria. Now, why do we add this criteria? Very simple. Number one is ease of learning, ease of transitioning, and high and rewarding salary. Now, why do I need to be sure that even though a career path is high in demand, it must also be easy to learn? Imagine you want to become let's say a software engineer, for example. That'll take you well over 18 months to 24 months to become a software engineer. It's not pretty easy to learn a skill like that. Okay, you can look at other areas, blockchain engineering and so on. You want to become a blockchain engineer today, you would really have to, go study some prerequisites. It's likely going to take you a long period of time to make that transition. So we needed to be sure that the career path people would like to move into, people that looked like me. And that was how Tenalytics came about. So I'm going to digress a little bit. While I was in Nigeria working at Sahara Power Group, one of the largest energy conglomerates, I was managing 4 companies. 2 were in the power generation industry. One was in the distribution industry. The other one was professional services. And my role was to analyze the data in these businesses and let the owners of the business, the directors and the management know exactly what is going on from a data perspective, okay? And give recommendations on what to do. That was my role. I also got jobs working from Nigeria. This was in 2019, 2020, just before I left Nigeria. I worked for companies in the US, companies in the UK, working remotely at that point in time. Now, one thing I noticed working remotely in those different companies outside Nigeria, I never saw anybody that looked like me. Okay, I rarely found anybody, any African. There were a lot of Indians, there were Pakistanis, there were other nationalities, but there were no Nigerians working in those areas. And that was one of the reasons why Tenalytics came about. This was somebody, myself, who had studied industrial chemistry, no technology background. I was working with one of the largest, multinationals in the energy space. And I was also working for companies remotely, working from Nigeria, working for companies abroad. Now, why can other people not do the same? Okay. And that's why you want to be sure that the career path you are moving into meets these 3 criteria: ease of learning, ease of transitioning. I couldn't have said I want to move from industrial chemistry to become a medical doctor. That's not easy to transition. All right. I want to get into career path where I can learn the skills, work on projects, build a repository, build a portfolio, and apply those skills to get a job. So we looked at ease of learning, we looked at ease of transitioning, and we also looked at the fact that this career path must also have fantastic salaries. Okay. And we came up with 8 out of the career path that are high in demand. And these are the career paths. First of all, so this would be the first few things you'd write on your notes today. You want to get a job, a visa-sponsored job. You want to get a job easily across the globe. You want to look at the business analyst career path, the agile project manager / scrum master, the data analyst, the data scientist, the data engineer, the cybersecurity analyst, the financial analyst, and the HR analyst. These are the 8 career paths. And I'm going to break it down to elaborate a little bit more. Now, we had done our analysis. We had filtered the in-demand jobs based on the 3 criteria of ease of learning, ease of transitioning, and high and rewarding salaries. But we didn't stop there. We needed to know that whatever analysis we had carried out aligned with a reputable organization that has also done the same analysis. And we went across to the World Economic Forum, which is a reputable organization. And every 2 years, the World Economic Forum releases a report called the Future of Jobs Report. All right. And I'm going to highlight the Future of Jobs Reports briefly before we move on. Now, why am I explaining this? I'm explaining this so you understand clearly that before you decide to jump from your career path. Maybe you are a nurse, maybe you are a care worker, maybe you are a logistics professional, maybe you worked in the bank back in Ghana, back in Nigeria, back in Kenya. Now you find yourself in the UK. You want to get a job within an area that is progressive, where you stay relevant over the next 10 years. You want to make that decision based on research, based on an educative approach. And that's what we have done. Okay. So the World Economic Forum releases the Future of Jobs report every 2 years. The 2025 report came out this month in January. I've kept the link for you to access. And for you to get this at the end of the session, make sure you fill the attendance form so you have access to all the links I have on my slide today. Now, one of the things the World Economic Forum would show you the number of jobs that will be created and the number of jobs that will be lost. So in the next 5 years, from 2025 to 2030, over 170 million new jobs will be created, facilitated by digital, revolution, digital implementation, and AI and machine learning. Then you have over 92 million jobs would also disappear. So while 170 million jobs will be created right here, 92 million jobs would disappear completely. All right. Now, what you want to do is to ensure that you don't fall within these 92 million jobs that will be disappearing over the next 5 years. They might not disappear completely, but they are surely going to decline in demand. Okay. You can think about it. You'd remember some roles that used to exist before, but they really don't exist anymore as much. Cashiers, for example, you go into a Walmart, you go into Poundland, you go into Selfridges, you really would not see so many cashiers anymore. You can simply take your items, go to the self-checkout stand, scan all your items and make payments easily without having any contact with anybody. So these roles, that's just to give you a rough example of some of the roles that will disappear completely. So you want to find yourself in the career path that are high in demand and the career path that would also grow over the next 5 to 10 years. So the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report, like I said, I have the link right here. Okay. You can also go on Google, just type it out on Google. WEF, World Economic Forum, Future of Jobs Report 2025 PDF, and it would pop out. You can download it. I took screenshots and I'm sharing them with you today. All right. We've analyzed the reports and I'm going to share some critical insights. So new jobs will be created. A lot of jobs would also disappear. You don't want to be part of those jobs that will disappear. Now, this particular slide shows you the jobs that will grow in demand at the left-hand side and the jobs that will decline in demand. You never want to be part of the jobs that will decline. You want to be part of the jobs that will what? Grow. So what are those jobs? So we use this to validate the analysis we had carried out, the 8 career paths we had shared based on the analysis we did, looking at what the World Economic Forum is also saying. Does it align with our analysis? The jobs that would grow the fastest are the data engineering roles, the big data specialists, the data warehousing specialists, and the data engineers. You can see that written clearly. Now, what does this mean? Data engineers are the professionals that ensure they get data from where data is generated. They store that data in a central location, like a database or a data warehouse for easy access. If you find yourself in that role, you are in a role that is the fastest growing over the next 5 years. It's in demand today. It's been in demand in the last 5 years. But in terms of growth and demand, is going to increase over the next 5 to 10 years. Then you have the data analyst and the data scientist career path. You have the AI machine learning. You can see that right there. So if you're in AI, you're in the machine learning space, machine learning ops, ML ops, for example, machine learning engineer, something like that. Or you are a data analyst, data scientist. you will find yourself in a career path that is growing very fast. And that's where you want to be. You have the information security analyst. These are the cybersecurity professionals. If you're a penetration tester, if you are a security operations center analyst, if you are an audit forensics specialist, you are a GRC consultant, governance, risk, and compliance, you are somewhere within information security, which is cybersecurity, you will find yourself in a career path that is growing in demand. You have the process automation specialists. These are the professionals responsible for ensuring that processes are efficient and processes that takes long can be streamlined to take few minutes by implementing automation within those organizations. Those are your business analysts. You have more. You have the business intelligence analysts. These are also data analysts. Okay, business intelligence, BI analyst is a derivative of data analytics. So if you've studied, you've learned data analytics skills, you can perform the role of a business intelligence analyst. You have the database architects. These architects, when you hear database, you hear architects. These are the people that design the database schema. They design the structure. If you want to build a house, what happens? Somebody designs the building even before they lay the very first block. Okay. So the database architects are those professionals that design the data schema, the databases before you even start to build any data infrastructure. And those are still part of the data engineers. Sorry, I dropped my pen. So you also have the project managers, but not your conventional project managers this time around, your agile project managers. So you want to be in the agile space. The agile project managers are the IT project managers. They are the project managers within the technology ecosystem. That's where you want to be. Then you have the management and organization analysts. These are also your business analysts. All right. So we started to see very clearly, and that's the reason why I love the World Economic, Forum Future of Jobs reports, because you can see without a doubt over, I think about 1 million to 3 million jobs were analyzed to come up with these reports. Okay, so it gives you a clear idea. The report also shows you the breakdown of the different countries and the career path that would grow in those countries. So you want to look at it. I've kept the link right here, like I mentioned. So you want to ensure that you fill the attendance form so you receive my slide at the end of today's session, and you can look at this report and see clearly where the world is going. Now we're going to narrow it down a bit to the UK, because not every job in the UK comes with visa sponsorship. So yes, we've highlighted, a lot of fantastic career paths. The next thing is, which of these career paths is eligible for visa sponsorship? So we go straight to the UK government website and would see clearly the job codes for the different career paths. I listed 8 career paths to you. If you want to get visa sponsorship, you want to get a job easily, you are in the UK, you are in Canada, you are in the US, these are the jobs that are growing in demand. The business analyst, the data analyst, the data scientists, data engineers, financial analyst, HR analyst, cybersecurity analyst. Finally, last but not the least, the agile project managers. Okay. So I want you to select 1 or 2 that you think you want to get into, because 2025 is the year of what? Focus and commitment. Okay. Commitment is not saying that, oh, this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to focus. No. Commitment is the elimination of alternatives. For you to marry, you probably had a lot of girlfriends or boyfriends. You had to eliminate a couple of them and you settled for one person. For you to be a part of today's session, you had to, oh, I'm not going to watch this football match. I'm not going to watch this MMA. I'm not going to watch this series. I want to be in the 10 Analytics Masterclass. You eliminated alternatives to focus on this session. All right. So you want to stay committed to 1 or 2 career paths. And then by the end of today's session, you'd have realized that, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick to it. And in the next 6 to 8 months, I must get a job in this area. That's the essence of our session today. Okay. So I'm going to take you to the UK government websites where you would easily see these career paths, the respective job codes, because you want to be sure that if I'm getting into any area, this job that comes with a job offer would have, is eligible for sponsorship. So I've also kept the link for you here. You don't need to look for it anywhere. Just click on that. It takes you to the gov.uk website where you have the skilled worker visa, eligible occupations, and codes. Okay. So last year, 2024, around April, changes were made by the Home Office. The shortage occupation list that existed in the UK was scrapped and it was replaced by the immigration salary list. All right. So you have this, the most recent updates, 4th of April, 2024, and you have all the different job codes. These are the jobs that if you get one of them, you would easily find yourself, getting the skilled worker visa, as long as that organization has the license to sponsor, which we're also going to talk about when we go into the strategies for you to deploy. So this is where you are selecting. We've not gone to strategies yet. We are selecting the career path. So we've seen Tenalytics analysis, the 8 career paths to focus on. We've seen the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs reports released this month, January 2025. We've seen the career paths that are growing and that are in demand. Okay, now we are looking at the UK government website to see the eligible occupations for what? Sponsorship. Okay, now we're going to pick just a few. All right, I'm going to pick cybersecurity. I just want to highlight, you can all do this at the end of today's session. You'd have my slides as long as you fill the attendance form. We're going to look at cybersecurity. We're going to look at the data analyst career path. We'll look at financial analysts. We'll look at project management. We can look at more, but I'm just trying to manage time as much as possible. Okay. So let's get back to the government website. So once you click on that link, it brings you here. Now, cybersecurity, for example, the job code is 2135. So very quickly, I'm going to move to 2135, scroll all the way down. All right, 2135. And you'd see cybersecurity professionals. And you'd see the breakdown of some of the roles within that area. So you're an ethical hacker, right? An ethical hacker can also qualify easily for a penetration tester. Essentially, that's what you're doing. Data security manager, forensic computer investigator, that's IT, forensics and audits. You have IT security analyst, technical security consultant, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you can see it clearly. The cybersecurity profession is a career path where that is eligible for the skilled worker visa. So now that you know, fantastic, I can go ahead and select that as one of the career paths I want to get into. All right. Now let's check for the data analytics. The code is 3544. Okay. So I'm going to scroll all the way down. 3544. And you see that's right there, data analyst. Okay, you see the data analyst, the data officer, data quality analyst, information management analyst, organization and methods analyst. There's so many of them. We had one of our students that got a job. She got a job with the NHS as a business architect. Okay, she did business analysis, but she got that job, visa sponsored job. I'll share her story with you. She got a job as a business architect. We had somebody else who got a job with NatWest, also came with visa sponsorship, and her role, her title was market data analyst. Okay, so it can be tied back to 3544, which is that code. If you go to the project management, 2131, for example. So if I go all the way to 2131, you'd see project management, the IT project managers. Okay, those are the agile project managers. So change manager, implementation manager, IT project manager, project lead, and so on and so forth. Okay, and financial analysts, all the codes are there. I've kept them for you, but let's see financial analysts before we move on. 2422. Okay, 2422. Finance and investment analyst. So you'd see the credit risk analyst, financial advisor, financial consultant, and so on and so forth. So if you're a financial analyst, that's a role that qualifies for a skilled worker visa. All right. So it's very important, you know. And like I said, I've kept all the codes for you to have access to my slide. For some roles, like the data analyst, it has multiple codes because there are multiple job titles within that ecosystem. And that goes back to what I said earlier. Business intelligence is a derivative of data analytics. Okay, so you'd see so many roles that aligns with the data analyst role, the cybersecurity analyst role, and so on and so forth. And that's where you'd find the HR analyst. A HR analyst is simply a data analyst that focuses on HR data. Okay, so you'd see job titles, HR data analyst, people analyst, and so on and so forth. So fill the attendance form, make sure you don't forget, so you get my slide with all the links and so on and so forth. Okay, so here you have the 8 career path, and I've also broken them down into other areas when applying to jobs. Because you've studied or learned data analytics does not mean that you only get a job as a data analyst. You can get a job as a business intelligence analyst, marketing analyst, sales analyst, product analyst, database administrator, database analyst, and so on and so forth. As an agile project manager, you can get a job as a scrum master, agile coach, scrum team facilitator, and so on and so forth. Understanding this is very, very important for the job application process. So you're not just typing data analyst. You know that there are multiple other roles within that same ecosystem. Now, my first question to everybody today is type into the chat the career path you are interested in joining. You might not be sure at this point, but just type into the chat. Are you interested in becoming a data analyst, a data scientist, HR analyst? Type into the chat. Okay, team says business analyst. David, data engineering, absolutely phenomenal. Kingsley says project manager. Adeiza, data analyst. Agile project manager. Oyewale. Kofo says HR analyst. Phenomenal. So that's number one. Write it down somewhere. Write it somewhere on your notepad. That's what I want to do. Okay, Sarah says corporate financial analyst. Fantastic. Financial analyst, you have the corporate financial analyst. You can become a cost analyst. You can become a financial planning and analysis analyst, a commercial analyst, investment analyst. You have so many areas within that same space. Okay, so just write it somewhere. That's the area you want to get into. You can have one, you can have two at the maximum. Remember, 2025 is a year of focus, commitment. And commitment, like I said, is what? Elimination of alternatives. So because your friend says, oh, business analysis is the in thing, you want to be a business analyst. Oh, somebody says it is cybersecurity, you are deviating. No. Focus. All these 8 career paths would get you to the same destination. They are different vehicles. For some of you, you are confident with learning, statistics, for example. You are confident with learning Python, machine learning. Then you are looking into data science. Some of you are not. You don't want to bother yourself with machine learning and all those technical stuff, but you want to work with data. You can become a data analyst. Okay, so there's a career path for everybody. These are different vehicles, different career path, but it gets you to the same destination. So now that we've selected the career path, we now go to the strategies for you to follow. And I'm going to share 4 strategies with you today. And like I said, it doesn't matter where you are. These are principles. These are not strategies that we think would work. These are strategies that have worked They've helped over 2,850 people to get jobs. These are strategies I have used personally, and I still use today, even though I'm not job searching. And I'll show you how. But you want to get a job, a visa sponsored job. I'll share 4 strategies. There are more, of course, if you're part of our program, but if you start with these 4, you'd go very, very far. Okay. So what are these strategies for you to follow? Now, I'll share the very first 4 with you. All right. Number 1 is where, and it's going to be practical. I'll take you practical. We're going to get a bit practical today. Number 1 is where you apply to jobs from job boards. Most of you say, Adeiza, this is not new. We already apply to jobs on different job boards. So what's new about this? Now, what I want to highlight here is if all you do is to apply on free job boards on LinkedIn, on Glassdoor, Indeed, CV Library, read.co.uk, jobs.gov.uk, track.com, you're going to get, it's like going to the general market. You get every other thing everybody gets. If everybody's getting rejections, you're going to get rejections. If everybody is struggling to get sponsorship, you will also struggle to get sponsorship. So you're going to add something to that, which is the paid job boards. And I'll show you how and how you can start to implement this, okay? So that's number 1. Number 2, I call it stoop to conquer. All right, what does this mean? Stoop to conquer, just like the name implies, these are companies that will put out vacancies, but they have not indicated that these jobs have sponsorship. Okay. They don't tell you that these jobs come with sponsorship. So for some people, you're always looking for jobs where it's clearly written that it comes with sponsorship. Now, another strategy is don't bother looking for jobs with sponsorship. Okay. Yes, you're going to look for them, but I would rather look for companies that have the potential to sponsor because they have sponsored numerous, people before. So just take company A and company B. Company A last year, 2024, sponsored 10 people. Company B in 2024 sponsored 1,000 people. So A sponsored 10, B sponsored 1,000. Which of these 2 companies do you think would likely sponsor you? A or B? Type into the chat. A sponsored 10, B sponsored 1,000. Which of these 2 do you think would sponsor you? Okay, absolutely. That's B. So that's what I call stoop to conquer. And I'm going to show you how to find these companies easily, okay, for free. Now, the third strategy is, I call it hunt the hunter. Very, very important. One of the most important strategies. Strategy 3 and 4 are my most important for you today. Okay. 3 is hunt the hunter. What does this mean? It simply means target the recruitment agencies. They are top tier recruitment agencies that are looking to hire for companies that are willing to sponsor. Okay. They know they can't get the talents easily. So they are willing to go out, out of their way to sponsor you and so on and so forth. You want to target those agencies. That's my third strategy. So let's go into the strategies one after the other. Okay. And then we'll go to strategy number 4. Remember, even if you're outside Nigeria, 1 to 3 works for you perfectly. 4 would be practically impossible if you're not within the UK to implement. You can only implement it, 50-50 because I'll show you when we get there. All right. But if you're in the UK, you are outside the UK, these 3 strategies work perfectly. Now let's start with strategy number 1, applying on job boards. Free and paid. Okay. Now, 2025 is also the year you want to start looking at investing a little bit more for you to get that job. Okay. Because those free platforms would give you about 10% of the jobs available, and you would look for and apply and struggle to land an interview. So you have Visa Jobs HQ, for example. You have UK Visa Jobs. You have the NHS jobs. I just kept a few, right here because of time, so we can walk through them together. Okay. Visa Jobs HQ is a phenomenal platform you want to take advantage of. And this is not just specific to those in the UK. If you're in the US, you're in Europe, you're in Asia, you can get jobs that have sponsorship from Visa Jobs HQ. Okay. The only thing is it's not free, it is paid. You have to pay, subscribe every month to have access to the jobs and apply to jobs on the platform. All right. So if you click on this, for example, it takes you to their platform and you'd see clearly all the different countries from the US to the UK, Canada, Middle East, Europe, Asia, and so on and so forth. Okay. And all their jobs come with visa sponsorship. It doesn't matter the country you are applying to. It all comes with what? Visa sponsorship. But like I said, you need to make payments to have access to this. Okay. I just wanted to show you the interface, show you what the platform looks like. We're going to do a deep dive into UK Visa Jobs. UK Visa Jobs is also paid and a phenomenal platform as well. Okay. Now, UK Visa Jobs would collate all the different sponsorship jobs from the platforms you're applying on. You're applying on Indeed, the jobs are here, and including additional jobs that you will never find anywhere else, but you have them on UK Visa Jobs. Okay. So once you click on the link, it takes you to UK Visa Jobs. Of course, you can search for some jobs and you can start to, I think they give you access to apply to 3 jobs for free. But outside that, you'd have to make payments to apply to more. So let me open it on this platform, on this particular browser right here. So we're going to do a deep dive very quickly. So once you get in here, you want to ensure that you log in. Okay, so I'm logged in already. Like I mentioned earlier, it is a paid platform. It is free to, I think, the first 3 jobs, but after that, you have to make payments. And this is a platform that allows you to apply to graduates, experience higher jobs with visa sponsorship in the UK. All right. Now let's look at some of the jobs. I'm just going to click on jobs and let's look at some of the jobs available. As of today, they have over 8,735 roles available that comes with sponsorship. All the jobs you find here are visa sponsored. One of our best platforms. We sent in, and I'll show you what we do at Analytics to bring this a little bit closer to you if you are our student or you're in one of our programs. Now let's search for one of the roles. I'm going to search for, let's say, a data analyst role. Okay, data analysts, click on search and let's see. So they have a couple of roles right here. Data analyst, water asset management, senior growth data analyst, market data analyst, EY, assurance, financial services, forensic data analyst, investment data analyst, and so on and so forth. I can click on any of them. Say I click on market data analyst, for example. It takes me to the platform where I can apply. Okay. And the end date for this is on the 1st of February. So I've just about a week, 6 days left to apply to this particular role. All right. Now, if you look at the requirements, which is the most important, what is required for me to get this job? So I want to look at this knowledge, skills, and experience, because one of the major misconceptions people have, and the reason why they don't apply to jobs, is because they think I need to know heaven and earth, number one. Number two, I need to be the best in this. I need to be the most intelligent. I need to have a certification. But when you start to look at the requirements to get this job, you realize that all I need to do is learn certain skills. I can apply to this job, show that I have experience, and I'll get the job. How do you show that you have experience? That's going to come as part of the strategies I'll be sharing with you. Okay. So you'd see, what do they want from you? They want you to have good knowledge of Excel, PowerPoint, and these are pretty much the key tools that they have indicated right here. Understanding of data, which drives investment management, business, and so on. And you can apply to this job. Now, what we do at Analytics for our students is you don't need to subscribe to Visa Jobs UK visa jobs. Okay. You don't need to make extra payments. We pay to subscribe, and we scrape the websites, we scrape the jobs every Sunday, and we send them to you. So every week you have jobs to apply to in your classroom. So we post it right there. You go there, you download the spreadsheet, you see the jobs, you see the links. I'll show you what it looks like. You apply to those jobs and you start to get those opportunities. So you don't need to go make extra payments as part of it analytics student. You can check for other roles. Okay, we can search for data scientists, for example. Let's search data scientists. I search for that. Their roles in data scientists. The NHS is hiring for a data scientist. I can click on that. Meta is also hiring data scientists, product analytics, and so on. We can see what the NHS is recruiting for. Click on that. It takes us to the job platform. So these are the links we share to our students. We copy these links, we put them in a spreadsheet, we send them to you, and you can apply to those jobs. Okay. So here you can see the job description, what the role is all about. You can see what the experience they want from you as a data scientist. They want you to have either R, Python, SQL, and so on. Okay, which are the things you're going to learn, as part of the program. They want you to also understand Git for version control. I'll show you all about that, and so on and so forth. So this is pretty much what you need. And for you to get access to these type of jobs, so certificates of sponsorship, which the NHS would provide to you. The COS is what you'd use to apply for your skilled worker visa. And it doesn't matter if you are currently in a different role, you're in a care role, you're a care worker, for example, you're on the health and care visa, you can switch as long as your new employer is willing to sponsor. And this has, it comes with the COS, you're welcome to apply, and so on and so forth. Okay. So that's how you use the UK visa jobs to get access to these type of roles. You don't find these jobs everywhere. You have a platform that shows you exactly where these jobs are. Okay. So that's how to use UK visa jobs. Fantastic platform. That's where most of our students have gotten their jobs, visa sponsored jobs in the UK. I'll share some of the success stories with you as we move on. Then you have the NHS. I highlighted the NHS specifically because the NHS is that organization that would easily give you sponsorship. They're the largest recruiter of talents in the UK. Every city, every council has their own NHS trust. Okay, so they hire all the time for different roles, and we have numerous Tenalytics alumni working with the NHS as business architects, data analysts, pathology data analysts, and so on. So if you go to the NHS website as well, all you can do, you can search for jobs available. Click on go to search. Okay. And you can type the job. What kind of job am I looking for? Project management, business analysis, financial analytics. Type it in there. So we type project management, for example, or project manager. You can enter your city, your postcode, and so on and so forth. I always advise start from your city and then expand. Okay. Don't constrain yourself to a single location. Okay. You want to create that flexibility to be able to move and get jobs available in other cities as well, depending on where the job is. So once you click on search, you'd see numerous roles. Okay. Over 12,690 jobs for project manager. Now, one thing you also want to look at, because part of the requirement for you to get that sponsorship is the salary must be a minimum of 38,700, if I remember correctly. That's the salary threshold. Very, very important. So it used to be lower, a lot lower than this, 2023 and so on. But after the new changes by the Home Office last year, April, they increased the salary threshold to 38,700. So for you to even qualify to get a skilled worker visa, The offer must be a minimum of 38,700 per annum, which is, I would say, a walk in the park, easily achievable. So you also want to look at the salary thresholds before you go ahead and apply. So you see different NHS trusts, different roles, project manager, you look at the salary, project manager, this is in Wales, you look at the salary and so on. Some of them might not come with sponsorship, some would, because the NHS would look to sponsor people if that's what is going to stop them from getting the talents. They offer the sponsorship. And I'll tell you the story of a lady. Her name is Patience. I'll tell you the story of Patience, how she was able to get her sponsorship with the NHS, even though the role she got did not come with sponsorship. All right. So, innovation project manager, you look at them, you look at the salary before you go ahead and apply. Okay. So, that's the first strategy. You can't do it with only free jobs. Free platforms would not cut it anymore. You want to get something that is unconventional, you have to use unconventional strategies. Okay. So, that's strategy number one, using paid platforms as well as free platforms. Of course, you are well aware of the free platforms. I'm not going to dive into that. I just highlighted a couple of paid platforms, the UK Visa Jobs, the Visa Jobs HQ. If you can subscribe, brilliant. If you're a Tenalytics student, you have this for free because we send these jobs to you every week. Now, we're going to go to number two, which is Stoop to Conquer. And I'll move a bit fast because of time. Like I mentioned, Stoop to Conquer is simply where these are the companies that have the potential to sponsor. Okay. And let me talk about Patient's story at this point. Now, Patience used the Stoop to Conquer strategy. Patience joined our data engineering program. Okay. She worked with the NHS at that time, and her role did not come with sponsorship. Okay, so she finished her master's. She was working with the NHS, the Newcastle NHS Trust. Okay, no sponsorship. She joined our data engineering program. Then a role became available in the Newcastle NHS Trust. A data management analyst role became available. She was interested in applying. She mentioned it to me. I told her, go ahead and discuss this with your line manager because the salary threshold was also above the threshold for you to get a COS and use that to apply. So I told her to, speak to your line manager, say this, say that, and you're likely going to get positive results. Coincidentally, she had also applied to the Northumbria NHS Trust. Okay. The Northumbria NHS Trust the data analyst role came with sponsorship. So she had Northumbria that came with sponsorship, and she had Newcastle that, did not come with sponsorship, but it met all the requirements for her to request for sponsorship. She didn't want to leave Newcastle simply because they have a more advanced data team compared to Northumbria. So she was a bit torn in between. We had several meetings. I advised her on what to do, how to negotiate. Eventually, Newcastle were willing to give her the sponsorship, but there was a caveat. The caveat was the sponsorship would only kick in. They would only give her the COS when she has just 6 months left on a post-study visa, which is a bit dicey. So it means that if 6 months to the end of my post-study, what if you say, I'm sorry, the sponsorship, we're not going to give sponsorship again? What happens? All right. So, and that was how Patience was able to use Northumbria as leverage. She took the job with Northumbria and she's currently with Northumbria as a data analyst, full visa sponsorship, and she started her job with them. Okay. So it's not all the time you decide that this job must come with sponsorship. Some of them would, but you want to also use the stoop to conquer strategy, get into the company and perform excellently well. Let them see how good you are, and they would not want to lose you. So by the time you tell them that, look, I'm willing to leave, I have another offer, they would want to give you that sponsorship. And that was what Newcastle did. They were willing to give Patience. However, the only caveat, which was I wasn't very comfortable with, Patience was also not comfortable with was the COS would only come 6 months to the end of her post-study. So we didn't want to take that chance, and she went to Northumbria. Now, what I have here shows 3 different platforms. Company jobs, which is going to be the most important right here. You have the UK government website where you have the list of registered licensed sponsor, and then you have worksponsors.co.uk. All right. I'm going to start with work sponsors. So work sponsor shows you companies that have the license to sponsor and roles from those companies. So if you click on this link, it takes you to the platform. Okay. Find sponsored jobs in the UK. So here, I'm going to use my other browser. Sorry. I'm going to use this browser so that we don't have all those things disturbing. Okay, so you have the different job openings, over 7,000 plus companies that can sponsor, and you have the jobs. Okay, you can easily search for jobs. These are recent jobs that were posted. Most of them right here come with what? Sponsorship. So you can come in here, search for jobs and apply. Okay. Engineering data analyst with Cardiff, insurance data analyst, marketing data analyst, and so on and so forth. Okay. So you can search for these jobs on this platform. You can search for the sponsors, the companies that can sponsor and so on, and apply. If I want to apply to this job, all I need to do is to click on what? More details. Click on more details. It takes me to the particular job itself, and I can start to apply. I see the requirements, what the job is all about, and I can start to apply to this job. Okay. Apply for this job. You can see the recruiter's email. You can follow up and so on and so forth. That's what work sponsors, would do for you. All right. Fantastic platform. However, I want us to focus a bit more on these two, the lists of licensed sponsor. So if you click on this, it takes you to the UK government website. And this is where they have the register, the list of all the companies that can sponsor. And it was last updated on the 24th, which was, I think that was yesterday, Friday. Okay. You can download this Excel spreadsheet. So if I click here, I can download. I'm just going to download that. Okay. I'll open it up so we see exactly what it looks like. So you can download the spreadsheet. Give me 1 second. I'm going to drag that to the other screen so you can see exactly what I'm saying. So when you download and you open this, you can see clearly the different organization name, the town or city, the county, the rating, and so on, the type of sponsorship they have, and the different routes. Okay. Now, why is this important? It's important because I don't want to apply to jobs in companies that don't have the license to sponsor. So if I'm going to use this stoop to conquer strategy, I want to be sure that any company I'm applying to have the license to sponsor. So when I get the offer and I go into that company, the first few months, I'll show you another lady that used this strategy to also get a job. Her name is Rita. She's on my slide. When I get there, I'll mention it to you. You get into the company after getting an offer. You know this company can sponsor, even though they haven't listed that this job comes with sponsorship. You do your best. Give them 110%. Okay. And then you request for sponsorship. They're likely going to give you that sponsorship. So here you have all the different companies. You can filter, you can add a filter right here. Okay, I can add a filter right here, and I can filter based on my city. If I'm in Manchester, if I'm in London, I want to see the list of sponsored, companies that have the license to sponsor. So I can start targeting those companies for job applications. Okay, so this list is available to anyone who needs it. The link is also on my slide. Make sure you fill the attendance. You get my slide at the end of today's session, and you have access to all of this. Now, the fantastic platform I want to show you is the company jobs. Why is this fantastic? Let's go in there first. Now, company jobs would show you the companies and the number of COS they issued in the previous year. If you're applying to a company, you've seen them on that list of licensed sponsor. You can come in here and check how many COS did they issue. Remember that company A that issued 10 and company B that issued 1,000. I want to know so I know exactly the company to focus on, okay? So I can come in here and I can simply type any company's name, NatWest, for example. I've seen NatWest as one of the licensed sponsor in my city. And I want to know how many COS did they issue or have they issued in the previous year. I can enter the name, click on search listings, and it would show me the NatWest group. They issued what? 535 COSs. Now, what does this mean? It simply means that if they have issued 535, the likelihood that they would issue a COS for me is also very high. So I want to apply to companies like this. Okay. More importantly, if you go back to where we're coming from, you'd see companies like Proforce, Tata Consulting Services, and you see the numerous COS they've issued: 6,007, 9,200, 7,000. We have some of our students in Tata. We have some of our students in Cognizant as well. So when you see these companies that issue high number of COSs, you want to look for roles available in those companies. Tata Consulting Services or consultancy services, for example. Let's go. So you can search their career page on Google, or you can simply go to LinkedIn. Okay, we're going to go to LinkedIn. You can go to LinkedIn and then search for the jobs available. Tata. So I'll come in here and I'll tap Tata Consultancy Services. Okay, let me maximize this a bit. So Tata Consultancy Services, and I'm going to select what? Jobs. Show me what? Jobs. So I click on jobs. It takes me to jobs, highlights the country, United Kingdom. And I also have a, what's it called? A plugin, okay, that shows me companies on LinkedIn if they are UK visa sponsors or not. So you'd see this green highlighting that, there are UK visa sponsors. If you apply, you can get your sponsorship from them. So you can see the very first role is the data analyst role. This was posted 1 week ago. You want to apply to roles like this, okay? Business consultants, data scientists. You can see the jobs, data scientists. This was posted 3 days ago, all right? Power BI engineer. This is in Glasgow. This was posted 2 weeks ago. So you can start applying to companies like this. This is Tata, for example. If you go to Cognizant as well, Cognizant, which is one of the largest data consulting companies in the UK, search for them, go to jobs, or you can go on Google and type Tata Consultancy Services Careers UK on Google. It will take you to their career page. You can apply. Cognizant, you can see the roles available. You can also see this green highlighted, UK visa sponsors. That's a plugin that shows you companies that have the license to sponsor. So business analyst, Salesforce business analyst, senior business analyst, and you can start applying to these jobs. Your application must go from haphazard, just doing things the way you feel, to a more directed approach. And this is how you can be directed and strategic in your application. Okay, that's called stoop to conquer. So if you see a job opening from Tata, for example, from NatWest, from Cognizant, don't think about it. Take that job. All right. Give it 110%, 120. They know that your work ethics is through the roof. You are a core professional. When you request for that sponsorship, they will give it to you. Okay, let's go to strategy 3, looking at time, hunt the hunter. This is also pretty much straightforward. Nothing happens from the comfort of your home. Okay, so once you are doing all the applications and everything, also ensure that you target those agencies whose source of living is hiring people like you. Hayes, Michael Page, Hanam, Adecco would have no revenue if they don't hire people like you. Okay, so they are looking for you. You have to do what? Look for them as well. Okay, go to their pages. If I go to Michael Page, for example, I click on the link, it takes me to their platform. You can search for jobs available on their platform as well. However, what you want to do is you want to upload your CV. So go to job seekers, submit your CV, click on that, excuse me, enter your email, your first name, your last name, phone number, your postcode, upload your CV and submit. Create a profile on Michael Page, create a profile on Hayes, create a profile on Hunter Bond, create a profile on Robert Walters, as many platforms as possible. Those agencies are looking for you. Okay. They also have fantastic, amazing tools that you can also leverage. Michael Page, for example, if you go to job seekers, they have a job matching tool. You can use that to match, they'll match you to jobs based on the CV you've uploaded. Okay. Salary comparison tool and so on. They have amazing stuff for you. Okay. They are looking for you to place you in companies. So don't sit down and think, once I do all my applications, I'm good. Take it a step further, create a profile of these platforms, let them know what you want, and then don't stop there. Okay, follow them. All right, search for them, visit their website, create a profile, and place a phone call to them. If they have an office in your city, visit their office, let them know exactly what you want, because that's where they start to prioritize you as somebody who has the drive, the zeal, the enthusiasm to get the job. All right. Number three is very key because it is not conventional. Okay. It's not conventional. You must have, you must do things that are unconventional for you to get these type of jobs. Okay. Um, so that's something you want to do. Let them know what you want. Let them know your objective. Let them know your strategy. And they prioritize you when those opportunities would come up. Now to the fourth and our final strategy for today. Then before I leave, number three, on platforms like Hanam, for example, for those who are in the data space, cybersecurity, you can apply to jobs on this platform. So if I click here, it takes you to the platform. You can apply to jobs directly. So I can simply come in here. I can come into this platform, for example, and I can type, I put in inverted commas, data analyst, I close my inverted comma, or I want to see for just the UK, okay? So I put what? United Kingdom. Okay, I close my inverted comma as well. So this is just you using keywords to search. You can, if you want it to be remote, hybrid, you can also put or, inverted comma, hybrid, close inverted comma, and then you search. So it will show you jobs that matches those keywords for you. So you see the data analyst role. This role, for example, is 25K to 35K. Okay, so the salary threshold does not meet the requirement for visa sponsorship. So you don't even want to focus on this. All right, staff product analyst, senior data engineer, lead data analyst, senior analyst, investment analyst, customer data analyst. You can see this. You can check any of the jobs, view jobs, for example. It takes you to the requirements. Okay. So you see what this job is all about. Most importantly, you want to go to what? Your skills and experience. Okay. So what do they want you to bring? Do they want you to bring heaven and earth? Adeiza, you talked about over 2,000 people that have gotten jobs. How did they do it? What did they learn? This job, for example, only requires you to know what? SQL, structured query language, Excel, and data visualization like Tableau or Power BI. All these tools and technologies, you would learn them under our data analytics program. And I'll highlight all the tools and technologies that you would learn. Okay. So you start to realize that there is nothing related to certification right here. So why do people always create a paper ceiling that except I get this certification, I can't get a job? And that's one of the major misconceptions stopping people from applying, because they don't know how to apply. They don't know where to apply. So it's a bit difficult for them to get access to those type of jobs. Okay. Now let's go to the fourth strategy for today. One of my favorites because it does magic for you. Nothing happens to you from the comfort of your home. So from today, if you haven't been doing this before, maybe you already have the skills, you are in a different career path, you are even in Canada, you are in the US, you've not been able to get a job, visit innovation hubs or tech accelerators in your city. Search for them. Okay. The founders and co-founders that would say we want to hire this person, they are there. They are in those hubs, in those innovation centers, and you have the opportunity to interface with them directly. Okay. How do you start? Very simple. Search, just go on Google. Go on Google now and search innovation hubs near me, innovation tech accelerators near me. You'd see so many of them. All right. Attend their events. Their events are free most of the time. You don't have to pay. They have several events, networking sessions, visits, and attend those events. That's where you get to meet the people that are looking for you. They want to hire you. You have the opportunity to have conversations, let them know how good you are, and opportunities starts to open up for you. Okay. I'm going to give you a very good example. Level 39. Level 39 is in London, for example. Okay. If I go to Level 39's website, it's a center where different startups, different companies, they come together, they network, they share ideas, they have co-working spaces, and so on and so forth. Visit these centers, attend their networking events. Simply go to What's On, for example. So if I go to What's On, I can see the different events they have coming up. Okay. What do they have this January, February? They have a session called the Warp Speed with Gen AI. Attend this event. Okay. So let's click on this, for example. Let's see what it's all about. So I click on that. Maybe I want to attend this event. Time is from 9 a.m., 12th of February, 2025. The venue, level 39. Again, like I said, this is in London. If I click on register, I want to register for this event. Guess what? It is free. Okay. So I can get my tickets, attend this event. Only few tickets left. So once the tickets are gone, guess what? You can't attend anymore. But when you attend events like this, you get to meet people, founders, co-founders, hiring managers that will direct you to where you need to get to. Okay. There is numerous people that have gotten jobs this way. I have helped somebody get a job from Nigeria to Canada. The company moved him from Nigeria to Canada. I met the founder of the company in Edmonton Unlimited Accelerator. We had a conversation. He told me he was trying to hire somebody from Nigeria. He was excited because he also met a tech founder like himself. And he told me, oh, I'm trying to hire this gentleman. Coincidentally, the person he was trying to hire had joined Tenalytics, our data engineering program, in 2021. 3 years ago, over 3 years ago, as at the time I had this conversation last year with him, which was 2024. So I said, I know this person. He's a professional. I've worked with him before. And that was all he needed to hear. He decided on that spot to hire him and he brought him to Canada. The gentleman is currently in Alberta, Edmonton, PR from Nigeria. Okay. So that's how you get opportunities to get the job on the spot, because you meet the people, the decision makers at those, these type of events. So you can attend them. Right. There is one they do for those who are in Alberta, for example. Edmonton Unlimited is on Jasper Avenue. You visit there. You are in London. You go to level 39. They have sessions on Wednesdays. They call it Coffee Wednesdays. Okay, you go there, you eat coffee, you eat bagels, you eat different stuff for free. And you have the opportunity to network and have conversations with people that matter. Nothing happens from the comfort of your home. If you're always in front of your computer, shooting out applications, take it a notch higher. Visit recruitment agencies. Third strategy. The fourth strategy is innovation hubs and tech accelerators. All right. So take advantage of that. Of I have a full list of the tech hubs globally: Canada, the UK, the US. I'm going to give it to the first 10 people that joins any of our programs. I'll send this. Of course, all of our students in-house, they have access to this. So you have all the tech hubs, the tech accelerators across the globe, Canada, the United Kingdom, United States, the rest of Europe, and you have access to all of this. Okay. So what you get to know is I get to visit these people. You know exactly what to say. These are part of your mentorship sessions with Tenalytics. These are the four strategies. Number one, don't just focus on free, add paid platforms, UK Visa Jobs HQ, and so many more. Number two, ensure that you stoop to conquer. There are companies that have the license to sponsor. Okay, the role might not come with sponsorship. Take that job as long as they have the license to sponsor. You've seen their list, you've seen their names on the UK government list of registered companies with license to sponsor. You go to company jobs, you've seen the number of sponsorship. They're not a company that did just 10, COS. They did 1,000, 500. I want to get into that company. Give them 110%, and then you make a request for sponsorship. Number three, visit recruitment agencies. We took it practically. The different agencies, set up your profile, reach out to them, and so on. Number four, visit innovation hubs. That's one of the first things you want to do. Ensure you visit innovation hubs. All right. These are the four strategies. If you want to get sponsorship this year, start with these four. There are more, but these four would get you the job, get you results, interviews a lot faster than you can ever imagine. All right. Now, some success stories I'm going to share with you very quickly. 2025 started very strong for us. We had over 7 people getting jobs in the month of January alone. Of course, they had started their process since towards the end of last year, but January, the offers started coming in. This is a lady who got a job with Sask Energy as a HR data analyst. She joined our HR analytics program, and she sent a message to her class coordinator, who is Priscilla. Hello, Priscilla. Happy New Year. I'm overwhelmed with good news. I have 3 job interviews. Most importantly, I have an interview with Sask Energy for HR data analyst role. One of the jobs you posted, remember I mentioned that we always post jobs to our students for you to apply. So this is when she said she had three interviews. We prepared her for our interviews. We prepared her in our interview preparation session. And this was when she sent us the message, I got the job. I completed her referencing sometime 2 weeks ago, and she started this job as a HR data analyst. You have this amazing lady as well. She also got a job as a performance analyst with an organization in Toronto, and it came, this is Robert Howe reaching out to us to provide reference. So one of the things we also do is ensure you get a reference from us, which shows that you are not a learner, you're not a beginner, but you have been on that job. Okay. And these are the things that positions you in front of the potential employer that you are the right person for the role. And of course, you had this amazing gentleman, Osamudia man, who got a job as a people partner. He also joined our HR analytics program. And this is the organization, the recruitment team in the UK reaching out to us to provide a reference. And numerous other professionals. Adeiza got a job as a cybersecurity professional just before he completed his program with us. You have this amazing lady who got a job as a customer insights analyst, and so on and so forth. Ikmat was a full-time stay-at-home mom. She moved to the UK for her master's. She joined our data analytics program. Today, she works with the NHS as a data analyst, full visa sponsorship. The amazing lady I told you got a job as a business architect is Ramat. She was a customer service professional with British Gas. She joined our program because she wanted to leave customer service. She joined our business analysis program, and today she's a business architect with the NHS, full visa sponsorship. You have Toyin. Toyin is also a pharmacist. She was a pharmacist back in Nigeria. Zero experience, zero knowledge. Joined our data analytics program. Toyin today is a benefits analyst with the NHS as well. Remember, I mentioned earlier that the NHS is the largest recruiter of talents in the UK. Our job also came with visa sponsorship. So we're going to listen to Ikmat. Okay, very quickly. It's about 2-3 minutes. We'll listen to Ikmat. I want you to hear from her the process, how she was able to do it, and how you can do it. Then I'll come back and add a few more strategies, the things you've not heard about yet, that enables these professionals to get the job. So yes, they know the strategies to get the sponsorship, where to apply, how to apply, stoop to conquer, innovation hubs. But before then, you need the technical skills and you need the employability skills. So I'm going to show you how to get that and what it takes to be a part of Tenalytics, and then we wrap up our session, okay, in the next 30 minutes. So let's listen very quickly to Ikmat, and then we start to close out our session for today.
FlexJobs is the #1 job site to find remote.
Sorry, I'm just going to ensure that. Okay, so let me use this platform. I need to be sure you can also hear Ikmat.
Hi, everyone. My name.
Okay, I need to be sure you can also hear Ikmat. And then just listen carefully, hear her journey, how she started, and where she is at the moment. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ikmat, and I was with the March cohort in Tenalytics, and joining Tenalytics has been the best decision so far. You know, for me, someone coming from a background of full housewife, because I had to stay back home to look after my child for 4 years, and then wanting to break into something new, wanting to go back into the workforce, you know, wanting to place myself in the society for better job opportunities. So it was a lot, and then I'm glad that Tenalytics came along, and then they presented me with so many opportunities right in front of me, better opportunities, and then I'm glad I took it. And then also the advice of do not sell yourself short, that Effie is always saying, it is very, very valid, because place yourself right, you know, don't sell yourself short. It's a very, very, very valid advice. You know, in Tenalytics, they will hold your hands like a child, you know, through the modules. You have the opportunity to go back and study. You have the opportunity to go back and practice. You have the opportunity to ask questions. You know, you have people you can always go back to, even outside of class hours. It's the most amazing experience so far, really. And then another thing is the interview prep, guys. That is another very important thing. I did my interview prep with Mr. Mohammed, and it is the best decision ever, because it was like he saw into the future. He knew what was going to be asked, and I'm glad that I wrote down all the things he mentioned. I went back to practice, and then when it was time for the interview, it was like everything he was mentioning, everything he mentioned, it was just, they kept on. And then when I was answering those questions, I was so confident, you know, because I already practiced. I did an Excel test, I did a maths test, and then they were really impressed. And another thing is, guys, it may not come as fast as you expect. Definitely you are going to get some no's, and then you may begin to think you're not good enough. You are good enough, yes. The no's will come, but always take it as a basis for learning and development, because after every interview where I got a no, I always make sure I get a personal feedback. So I work on those feedbacks for my next interviews. And yes, it worked. It really worked for me because I got my first job 3 months into the program, my first job. But I couldn't take up the job because I was a student and I was only eligible to work 20 hours. So I couldn't take up the job. 3 months later, I got 2 jobs with full visa sponsorship. And guys, all the other no's before the 2 jobs prepared me for the yeses I got. So yes, the no's will come, but do not give up because you always have 10 analytics to go back to. They are the best and the best thing that's ever happened to me. And then yes, and they are the most affordable. The most affordable one I've come across so far. And that's a very good advantage. So yes, 10 analytics for the win.
So that's Ikmat. She's doing amazing work at the moment with the NHS as a data analyst. 3 key things Ikmat mentioned. If you didn't catch it, I'm just going to rehash so that re-echo what Ikmat said. You have the opportunity to go back to practice. Very important. She also mentioned her interview prep. She went into interviews in a way that she assumed, she felt like the person that prepared me seemed to have, he seemed to know what exactly would come out during the interview because I prepared for those answers. And she also talked about getting offers even 3 months into the program before she even completed the program. She couldn't take the first offer because she was still a student. As a student in the UK, you have just 20 hours per week to work. You have that limitation. But 3 months after, she got 2 offers with full visa sponsorship. And today she's with the NHS, still on that role, doing amazing, amazing stuff. So these are just a few. I'll share more as we move on and we wrap up our session. Now, to add a few things to what we've already discussed, what helps you land a job is beyond just your technical skills. You need more than the technical skills. But before you even stand in front of somebody to say, I want to get a job as a business analyst, a data analyst, a cybersecurity analyst, you must have the technical skills and you must also have the employability skills. Okay. So I'm going to share that with you very quickly. We've done the very first thing in the 6-step approach. The first thing, which is to identify the career path you're interested in. Some of you have done that already. If you haven't, make sure you identify a career path. Number 2 that you want to do is learn the technical skills. And the way you learn is wrong. Adults don't learn by just watching and listening. Adults learn using the andragogy methodology, which is simply you learn and you do. Okay, you learn by doing, experiential learning. So that's why you must learn in a blended learning approach where you can watch in a self-paced environment and then you have live instructor-led sessions where you have the opportunity to interact with real human beings who would show you what to do. You work on projects together and so on and so forth. Okay, and I'll show you very quickly what our platform looks like. So if you go to www.10analytics.io, it takes you to the platform. But since you're not a part of the program, you can't get into the dashboard. You have to have joined, made payments to have access to the dashboard. So this is what your dashboard looks like. All right. This is what your dashboard looks like very quickly. So let's say you've joined our data analytics program. You log into your dashboard, you see welcome back, Tomiwa. If your name is Tomiwa, for example, this is saying welcome back, Adeiza, because this is my own dashboard. I have an interview coming up. All I have to do is come in here, click on what? Schedule appointments. Okay. My name is already captured. I select my program, the link to the job I want to apply to. I enter the link right there, the details of the job, the interview stage. Is it first level, second level? I select that, the job description, the interview date. I want my interview tomorrow on Sunday, the 26th. I can select that, upload the CV I used to apply, and then I can book my interview session. So when Ikmat talked about preparing for the interview, that's how you get it done. Then you have the opportunity to learn at your own convenience. Okay. So as a data analyst, if I click on continue learning, it takes me to my data analytics program. Okay. So this is where I can come to at any point in time. I can watch my sessions and practice along. Okay. Here I can look at the different aspects. Week 0, which is where you get to install all your tools and technologies, your Excel, your Power BI, and all those things. You install them from here, installations, and so on. Install PostgreSQL, install Power BI for Mac, Power BI for Windows, and so on. Then you have your week 1, Excel for analytics. This is where you can select any topic, data cleaning. You watch these videos at your own convenience and you practice. At the end of every module, you have what? Assessments and quizzes to assess what you've learned and to also, measure the level of learning that has taken place. So this is the self-paced platform, an amazing platform where you get to learn all the tools and technologies at the comfort of your home, anytime, anywhere. Then you have the live classes. Okay, I'm going to show you the platform. This is why we call it the blended learning approach. So let's go to the class that started in January. You'd see that's right here. 2501, that's 2025-01 January. Let's go to their classroom. So part of your important materials, your CV template, I'm going to come back and explain all of this. You can book an interview session from here as well. Job sites and roles you can apply to, all right? And job offers. So I talked about the jobs we post every single week. So if you go to job offers, you click on that, you can see the different jobs, the ones that come with sponsorship that you can apply to. You'd see them right here. The last job was posted on the 19th of January. Okay, every Sunday we post jobs. Tomorrow on Sunday, the 26th, we're going to post another job again. You see sponsorship, yes, 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 yes. And this is where you get to apply to jobs. You see the ones that come with sponsorship and you can apply to them every single week. And that's where you don't have to make extra payments. We paid for those platforms. We send the jobs to you. You have your mentorship sessions. All right. Mentorship sessions every Thursdays. Unconventional job search strategies. That was how we opened the new year, 2025. I handled this session. So you have the opportunity to be mentored by professionals who have gone ahead of you. Myself, the co-founder, we bring in industry experts. They work with you. If for any reason you miss any of these sessions, you can watch the recording, come here, click on mentorship, and it takes you to the recording. All right. You see exactly what was discussed on that day. You have the opportunity to what? Rehash, reference everything that we did. It's always very practical. Okay. So that's how we opened up the year. How do you apply to jobs? Unconventional, strategies for job application. Now, more importantly, you have your drop-in session. Drop-in session is your makeup class. Your makeup class is for somebody who missed a class on Saturday. You need to still join another class where you want to interact with a real human being, not on YouTube or Coursera or all of that, which is, I've done all of that, and I'll tell you that is the worst place for you to start, is the worst place for you to transition. All right, because you can't interact with people, you can't ask questions and get feedback on the spot. In a live class, you have the opportunity to do that. Your drop-in session is designed for those who miss classes and they want to interact with their trainer. Every Wednesdays, you have drop-in sessions, which is more or less like a makeup class for you. In case you missed class the previous weekend, you can join the drop-in session every single week. This was 8th of January, 15th, 22nd. Every week you have your drop-in sessions every Wednesdays. Now let's look at this class very quickly. A typical Excel live class. You have your class material, which is your PDF, your data set, and all of that. Then you have the class recording. So when Ikmat mentioned the fact that you can go back and practice. You can go back and watch. This is exactly what she meant. You have lifetime access to the platform. So 3 years later, you want to come back and see what you've done. 1 year after, you want to come back, you have access to do that. And all your classes are project-based. So if I go to the class material, for example, you're not learning Excel the same way everybody else learns Excel. You learn Excel and you apply them on working on projects, real-world case studies. So here you are learning how to streamline data management with Excel, working for a university called Hillston University. Okay, so there's always a business case. The university has a problem where they have a lot of students and their data is scattered across multiple systems. How can they bring that data in a single place, analyze the data to extract insights? Okay, that's what your case study is always all about, solving real world problems. All right. So, and you have a facilitator. If you go to the class recording, you have a facilitator, you have somebody, a professional who is helping you solve these problems in class. You work together solving these problems. You have the opportunity to stop, ask questions, share your screen. I'm not getting exactly what you're getting. What am I doing wrong? That's the best way to learn. Okay. So that's how you learn with us at Analytics, using both the self-paced and the live classes. When you work on all those projects, number 3, what do? You must have proof that you have experience, that you've done it before. No recruiter wants to hire you because you have a certificate. All right. No recruiter wants to hire you because you've put it on your CV that you've done this or you've done that. They want to hire you based on what you've done and showing proof that you've done it before. Okay. And that's why you must build a portfolio. You must work on case studies, real world case studies, and build a portfolio. So when I mentioned that we write references for our students, what simply happens is when you join us, you don't join us as a student, you join us as a contractor, okay, or a consultant. So when you get that job, you're going to have Tenalytics on your CV as work experience. You're also going to have Amdari, which is another company, as work experience as well. I'll show you there when we get there. So you can list that and they see you that, okay, you are currently on the job, meaning that you are the right person for this role. Okay. So what does a portfolio look like? As a data analyst, a business analyst, it doesn't matter the program, you must have evidence that you've done the job before. So this is Victoria's portfolio. The different analysis she's done, deep care hospital analysis, which was an analysis she did for a hospital. She did this as part of the program, okay, helping to reduce the wait time of patients in the emergency room. So anybody can come in here and click, and it takes them to Victoria's dashboard. All right, I can interact with this dashboard. I can see what Victoria Uchemadu has built. The link to this portfolio would be on Uche's LinkedIn, on Victoria's CV. So any hiring manager can see how good she is. All right, I can interact with this. I can deselect this, for example, everything disappears. I want to see for Q1. I click on Q1 and it's dynamic. It responds to my interaction with the dashboard. So looking at this, I have no doubts that Victoria knows how to use Tableau. This was built using Tableau. Okay, so that's what we mean by having a portfolio. You must have a portfolio. That's your proof of work, proof of experience that you've done the job before and you can do it for us. And I'll give you a practical example on LinkedIn, how you put this on your LinkedIn profile. So if you go on LinkedIn, for example, I'm going to search for one of our students. His name is Victor Omoboye, fantastic professional. He's in our data science program. Okay. So if I go to Victor's profile, so you'd see Victor Omoboye, Tenalytics, part of where he's working at the moment. And one of the things you'd see, he's in London, you'd see my portfolio. Okay. Everybody must have this, my portfolio. If you click on my portfolio, it takes you to Victor's portfolio on GitHub as a data scientist. So you see some of the projects that Victor has worked on. So if you're a hiring manager you can see what Victor has done. Okay, I can decide to see, okay, Victor did some analysis, stock price prediction. Let's look at it. I click on that. It takes me to that particular analysis that Victor has carried out. And this is an analysis using LSTM, which is the long short-term memory. It's a recurrent neural network model that Victor has built as part of his training with us. Okay, so you can look at what it's all about, the introduction, the methodology, the data pre-processing and all of that. More importantly, I can click to see his codes, the codes he wrote on Python in his Python notebook. I can click on this. It takes me to the codes and I can see clearly what Victor did using time series to predict stock prices, Tesla's stock price, how he imported his data, how he, structured the data, cleaned the data, created different visualizations. And when I look at this, I have no doubt that Victor can do the job. That's you having proof of work. When you have that, you've completed your technical part. You now go to where? Employability. Employability, number 4, is where you are showing recruiters that if you ask me to explain something to you during an interview, I know exactly what to say. My CV is the best representation of me on paper form. So you know how to tailor your CV to job requirements, which we're going to help you do that. We revamp your CV for you, tailor your CV, keyword optimized, goes past the ATS system. You get your interviews. Your LinkedIn is also optimized. Victor's LinkedIn was never like this when he joined us. You'd see so many keywords on Victor's LinkedIn, from his profile to his summary, where you have the summary. You have so many keywords right here that when a HR, professional, a hiring manager is looking for a data scientist, Victor's profile is definitely going to pop up. Okay. And it doesn't just have data science, it also has data analyst, because as a data scientist, you can also get a job as a data analyst. Okay. So we show you how to optimize your LinkedIn, navigating the job market. You see what we've done today? That's a part of navigating the job market in the UK. We have navigating the job markets in the UK, Europe, Canada, the US. How do you apply? How do you use AI to do some of these things? These are the things you get to understand. Once you start getting the job offers, the job interviews, you must have somebody to prepare you for interviews, which is what we do for you. So you can book your interview session easily. Go to your LMS, either to your classroom. If you go to your live classroom, right under important materials, you would see where you have book an interview session. Or you can simply go to your LMS, go to your dashboard, and you can schedule your interview preparation from there. Somebody would prepare you for that interview. So you go in there, you know how to answer simple questions like, let's get to meet you, introduce yourself. Okay, tell us about your experience. You know how to answer competency-based questions as well. All right, so we teach you how to do that. Then we also write your references for you. Okay, just like I explained. And then once you get the job, you have questions. There are things that are not very clear to you. We have on-the-job support. Of course, number 5 is networking, which is holding different events, showing you the events you need to attend based on your city, and so on and so forth. And every Thursdays, you have your mentorship session where you get to interact with me, other industry professionals. We bring them to speak to you, and we literally handhold you to get into where you want to get to. So you see number 4, 5, and 6. These are your employability skills. You can be the best in Excel. You can be the best in Python. You can be the best in Power BI. If you don't know how to introduce yourself using the technique called SEAT. S for skills, E for experience, A for achievements, and T for traits or type of person. When introducing yourself, if you don't know how to introduce yourself constructively, you're not going to get that job, no matter how good you are. If you don't know how to tailor your CV to job requirements, you would always get, unfortunately, you're never going to get into the room to give yourself a chance for that interview. So 4, 5, 6 is where we do our best work. We've taught you the technical from your self-paced to your live classes. You've worked on projects, you've built a portfolio. We then come down to where your CV, your LinkedIn, how to navigate the job market, how to apply, where to apply, interview prep, and so on and so forth. Your mentorship session, networking sessions, and that's what gets you what? The job. Okay, so again, I'm going to breeze through this very quickly. The skills you need to learn. We've talked about so many areas. As a business analyst, you're going to learn Excel, you're going to learn Power BI, you're going to learn SQL. Then you'd learn process mapping. Because as a business analyst, your role involves understanding processes, making sure they are automated, making sure they are efficient. If something takes 5 days, how do I reduce it to take 5 minutes? So you're also going to initiate projects. You learn the Agile and Scrum methodology and framework for projects. You'd learn the software development lifecycle, requirement fundamentals, elicitation, stakeholder analysis and engagement, and AI for business analysis using ChatGPT. Okay, your tracking project deliverables. You're going to learn how to use Jira to do that. Confluence for collaborating on projects. Trello for tracking team members. Azure for implementing and tracking your projects using the Agile and Scrum framework. And ChatGPT for analytics. It doesn't matter where you are. You are in the UK, there is a time schedule for you that meets your time zone. On Saturdays, that's when you have your live classes. Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, you don't have a live class. Your live class Saturdays, if you're in the UK, that'll be 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you're in Canada, you are in the US, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Time. All right. And you have the opportunity to choose from 2 options. The first option is where you get to learn for 6 months, and then you have your internship for 2 months. Your internship is where you work on real world projects. It's a virtual internship. You work in a cross-functional team. So if you're in business analysis, you're going to work with the Agile project manager. You're going to work with a software developer. You're going to work with a Scrum master, and you'd solve a problem together for 2 months. And that's where you start to build the experience that shows you exactly what you do when you get that job as a business analyst. So you have the option to do the 2 months internship or the 6 months internship. So for those who want to work longer, work on more projects, the 6 months internship would be your option. For those who want 2 months internship, I want to learn 6 months in class, 2 months internship, I want to get the job before the end of the year, 2025. That's the best place for you to start, option 1. For those who want longer internship, then the option 2 for 12 months, 6 months in class, 6 months internship is what you want to go for. The Agile project manager, you are a project manager that your role is to help teams deliver work in small, manageable pieces called sprints. So instead of planning an entire project from start to finish, as an Agile project manager, you break it down into small tasks that are easy to manage. You can adapt to changes and you continuously improve along the way. Okay, so you apply the Agile methodology, the Scrum framework as an Agile project manager. You're going to learn Confluence for collaborating on projects, Jira for tracking deliverables, Trello for your team members tracking their progress, and so on. So you're going to learn all these amazing stuff as an Agile project manager. Introduction to project management skills and communication, end-to-end use of Jira, and Confluence. You learn Kanban. Now, the reason why Agile project managers can work as Scrum Masters is because Agile is a methodology that has three key frameworks: Scrum, Kanban, and Lean. Now, understanding these three frameworks gives you the opportunity to adapt into so many roles within the Agile methodology. All right, very, very important. You learn the Nexus Skills Scrum. We prepare you for the Professional Scrum Master certification. Again, you're going to spend your live classes on Saturdays. Every other day, you log into the platform, the LMS, you watch your videos, you practice, you solve problems. And every Saturday, you join a class with a professional like myself who would work on you solving problems together. Some of those Saturdays would include presentations. You'll not have a live class, but you have presentations. You've done a project and you learn to present, because part of the skills of a project manager includes what? Communication. So you build the skills while you're in class. Again, it doesn't matter where you are. There's a class that fits your time zone. UK 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. UK time. For those in the US, Canada, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain time. All right. You have the two options. The first is to learn 6 months in class, 2 months internship, 6 months in class, 6 months internship. The choice is yours depending on how long you want your internship to last. Then you have the data engineers. All the tools you saw as I was showing you those jobs, all the tools are here. Okay. You're going to learn introduction to data engineering, SQL, structured query language, Python, Linux for bash scripting. You're going to learn how to get data from different sources, databases, APIs, web scraping. You'd learn how to use Apache Spark and Airflow for your pipeline automation. You'd learn cloud engineering using GCP and Microsoft Azure. So GCP is Google Cloud Platform, and you'd also get to learn Microsoft Azure. You'd learn version control using GitHub and ChatGPT, GitHub Copilot as well for AI, GitHub Copilot, ChatGPT, GitHub, for version control, and you'd use this for AI in data engineering. Same structure, same way you join the classes. Live classes on Saturdays. On Sundays, Mondays, you log into the LMS, watch your videos, practice, solve questions, solve case studies, and so on. The first option, 6 months in class, learning in class for 6 months, 2 months internship. Second option, 6 months in class, 6 months internship. And as a data analyst, you saw one of those roles that came with sponsorship. Okay. What are you going to learn? You're going to learn problem solving, Microsoft Excel for analytics, SQL, structured query language, Power BI, Tableau, data storytelling, ChatGPT for analytics, and Microsoft Fabric for analytics. Microsoft Fabric is a new platform, new technology by Microsoft that enables you to collaborate in a single platform. Okay. Again, your classes, Saturdays, it doesn't matter where you are. There's a class that fits your time zone. All right. 6 months in class, 2 months internship for the first option, 6 months in class, 6 months internship for the second option. Now, for those who want to take it a bit further into Python, machine learning as a data scientist, you will start your journey with statistics. Then you learn predictive analytics with Microsoft Excel. Then you move into Tableau for data analytics, SQL, structured query language, and then you learn Python. One of the mistakes people make is becoming data scientists. They dive head on into Python. If you ever do that, you're likely going to crash out. You dive in and you drown. Okay. You want to dive in and stay afloat. So you start from the foundations, statistics, predictive analytics with Excel, Tableau, SQL, before you dive into Python. Then you use Python for your exploratory data analysis, machine learning, computer vision, version control with GitHub, ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot for AI, in data science, and then Microsoft Fabric. Again, your classes, 6 months in class, 2 months internship, 6 months in class, 6 months internship, depending on how long you want your internship to last. Okay. And of course, it doesn't matter where you are, you have your classes. Your live classes are only on Saturdays. Sundays, you don't have a live class. Mondays, Tuesdays, you don't have a live class. All through the week, you can log into the LMS anytime at your convenience and practice along. As a financial analyst, you are a data analyst with financial analysis skills, analyzing financial data. Okay. So you're going to learn the key data skills, problem solving, Excel, Power BI, and SQL. Then you learn the core accounting fundamentals, financial analysis, accounting fundamental, financial analysis, financial modeling, valuation, sensitivity and scenario analysis, and AI for financial analytics using charts GPT. The structure of the classes are similar: 6 months in class, 2 months internship, or 6 months in class, 6 months internship. Then we move to the HR analyst. As a HR analyst, you are also a data analyst, but your focus is where? On HR data, people data. You are using data, tools, and technologies to drive HR policies. So you're not going to come up with a HR policy without analyzing the data to back up that policy or strategy. Okay. For example, what are the factors that can predict employee turnover or employee attrition? As a HR analyst, you must be able to do this. So you're going to learn the data analytics skills, problem solving, Excel, Power BI, SQL. Then you learn the HR core areas: HR analytics and performance evaluation, HR metrics and life cycle, HR analysis and dashboarding, collaboration and reports automation, building your case and creating action, and AI for HR analytics using charts GPT. The structure of the class, pretty much the same. Live classes Saturday. Every other day, you log into the platform, watch your videos, practice, solve case studies, complete your quizzes and assessments. And on a Saturday, you have a professional who would work with you, solving problems together. You can ask questions and so on and so forth. All right. Cybersecurity, last but not the least. This is where you are helping businesses and organizations protect their systems, their network, and their data. Okay. So you're going to learn the core areas that would enable you become a GRC consultant, governance, risk, and compliance, enable you become a penetration tester, a pen tester, enable you become a SOC analyst, a security operations center analyst. Okay, and also forensics and audits specialist. Okay, so these are the key areas the cybersecurity program would enable you dive into, depending on where you want to join and the career path you want to focus on. So you'll start by learning introduction to cybersecurity, foundation of computing and networking, information security principles. You'd learn how to protect, like I mentioned, the network, different endpoints, web and application, cloud security, incident response, cybersecurity policies, and compliance. Again, the structure is pretty similar. It doesn't matter where you are, there's a class that fits your schedule. Your internship is with an amazing company called Amdari, where when you're done with your 6 months learning with us at 10 Analytics, you then move into Amdari for your internship for 2 months or for 6 months, depending on the option you selected. If you want the longer internship, it's for 6 months. The shorter internship is for 2 months. At the end of the day, irrespective of the option you select, 10 Analytics will be added to your CV as a data analyst or cybersecurity analyst, and you also would add Amdari as well. So this shows and positions you as somebody who is doing the job, who can do the job, and who is ready for that role in any organization you are applying to. All right. So there are more success stories. I'm not going to bore you with this. This is Rita. Rita is the other lady I mentioned that used the stoop to conquer. So Rita joined this company in the UK as a data analyst. Rita, when the changes by the Home Office last year, April, started to materialize, we had a meeting with Rita and we advised this is the best time for you to do what? Request for that COS. So she met with HR, there was back and forth. This is what Rita sent to us. I spoke with my manager about the visa when the rules changed, but HR pushed back and forth until they gave me my COS. Immediately she got this. She used the priority visa service, applied, and she got her decision. And she's saying, I got my decision today. All right. Thank you so much. I'm grateful to Tenalytics because the program taught me SQL, which I used to get this fixed term contract job. Thank you very much. So Rita gave the company 110%. There was no sponsorship. But because she had done so well, when she requested for sponsorship, yes, there was back and forth, but she got it. Okay. This is Lois. Lois was an accountant back in Nigeria. She had procurement experience, no experience in tech. She joined our business analysis program. And today, Lois is a project manager in the UK. Ngozi, customer service, HR background, no knowledge in tech. She joined our business analysis program. Today, she's a business analyst. She works remotely. She lives in Huddersfield, doing amazingly well. You have Olua Damilare, zero experience, joined our data analytics program. Today, he's a sustainability data analyst with BAM in Leeds in the UK and so on. So the links to watch and listen to them, I've kept them right here. Remember, fill the attendance so you can listen to these amazing professionals. And I'll show you where you have all the testimonials collated in a single platform on YouTube. So you have the option to just go there. Okay. So these are all testimonials. I'm not going to bore you with them. I'll just highlight a few. This is Abigail. Abigail was a care worker in Saskatchewan, Canada, joined our business analysis program. Today, Abigail is a business analyst with the government of Alberta in Canada, and so many other professionals. Abisola got a job as a machine learning engineer, ML engineer, after joining our data science program in the UK. All right. You have Fikayo. Fikayo had a finance and accounting background. She joined our data science program. Today, Fikayo is a business solutions analyst with a company in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and so on and so forth. Okay. So many amazing success stories. You have Abdurrashid, who works out of Nigeria, works for a company in the US as a data scientist after completing our program. So he works remotely from Nigeria. You have access to all these content. I'm not going to bore you with them. When you receive my slide, you can take your time, watch all the videos, listen to all the professionals. We also decided to get a bit closer to our North American audience in the US and Canada. We've done amazing, phenomenal work in the UK in the past, 3 to 4 years. We are looking to expand that to our audience also in Canada and in the US. So we came into Canada. We set up our operations in Alberta, Canada, the most friendly province for businesses. And one of the ways we got into the Canadian job market, the Canadian market was through the Alberta Catalyzer Velocity Program. So you see that strategy. When you want to get a job, you want to network, have access, search innovation tech hubs near me. I did that. Alberta Catalyzer, the Edmonton Unlimited came up. I attended one of their events. And from there, I realized this was the best platform to register. We registered on the platform. We got into their accelerator, their velocity program, and it was amazing. All right. So this is one thing. You can also read about it right here. If you click on this, it takes you to the article. You can read about the Alberta, the startups doing amazing stuff. That's me right there. That's Femena, the co-founder. and other amazing founders who joined the program. Okay. So you can read about the amazing stuff we are doing, helping Africans to land jobs within the tech ecosystem and so on. Of course, we also have our accreditation from the American Council of Training and Development, a testament to the amazing work we are doing. You all have this on the slide. You can all go back, and look at this at your own convenience. As we wrap up, what are the next steps? And I'm going to take questions for maybe 10 minutes so we can wrap up in very good time. What are the next steps? Because remember, like I said at the beginning, 2025 is the year of commitment where we take out all alternatives, the elimination of alternatives, and we know exactly what we are focusing on. What should you start to do today? Our next cohort starts on the 8th of February, and this is the best time for you to get started. So for those of you who want to take it to the next step, you want to get into any of the 8 career paths I've listed, using all the strategies I've also advised, this is the best time to start. We have an amazing discount for you. We opened up the discounts last week. Some of them ran out immediately. We had to top up the discount again, but we have discounts for those of you willing to get started again this weekend. All right. 8th of February, our next cohort would commence. You can join that cohort. If you are joining the plan where you have 6 months learning, 2 months internship, any of the programs, the original fee is $900. But instead of paying $900, you have the opportunity to pay the discounted fee of $750, which is a 20% discount. And you can also make, if you are going for the option of 12 months, instead of paying $1,200, you only get to pay $1,000, 20% off. And you can make payments in multiple installments. You can pay for 5 months or you can pay for 8 months, depending on the choice you want to go for. I'm going to walk you through how to get started, okay? For those of you who want to start, all you have to do is you click on this link. And this takes you to the enrollment center, okay? Scroll all the way down, select the program you're interested in. If you're interested in business analysis, for example, 8 months, click on that. It takes you to business analysis, 8 months. Now, we opened this up last week, like I mentioned. Out of the 20 slots we had available for the discounts, 14 slots are gone. We have just 6 slots left. So if you want to get started, this is the best time for you to start. So if you're going for the 8 months, we have just 6 slots left. You want to dive in and register, okay? If you're making your payments in 1 month, a one-time payment, or your payments in 2 installments, you're going to pay just £575 if you're paying in pounds. Okay, you can always change the currency. If you're paying in US dollars, you can come in here, change it to US dollars, and you'd see the equivalent. Okay, if you're paying, you can pay 700 if you're paying in 1 installment or 2 installments. But if you're paying in 5 installments, you are making the payment of $750, which is the discounted fee I had highlighted for you. All right, so you have that option to even get a further discount if you make a one-time payment or 2 monthly payments. Okay, so let's say I'm in the UK, for example. I want to pay in pounds. I want to take the 5 installments, which at the end of the day, I'll pay £123 every month for 5 months. So you have that flexibility to make payments across the entire 5 months. So I select this option. I click on secure your seats. It would show you how you pay. So you make your first payment today. The next payment will be due on the 25th of February, 25th of March, 25th of April, and 25th of May. Okay, so if I click on proceed, this is where I get to enter my name, enter my email, my phone number, and then I click on pay for products. All right. I enter my card details. Okay. And then I click on confirm payments. The moment I click on confirm payments, I would have made my first installment of £123. If you are paying in US dollars, that would be roughly about, $100 and something, close to maybe 180 or thereabouts. And you make your first installment to secure your slot. Once you've done that, you'd receive an automated email that would have your confirmation of payments, and it would also direct you to your registration form. You fill that registration form, and that's what gets you into the class. Now, for some of you who want to take advantage, all right, we've seen that business analysis 8 months, we have just 6 slots left. Okay, we have just 6 seats left for the business analysis 8 months. Let me maximize this a bit. Maybe I want to go for data analytics. All right. I know we had to, data analytics ran out during the week. We had to top it up to give access to more discounts. So 2 people have already paid from this session because before we started, we had 20 slots left. Okay. So now we have 18 slots. You make your payments. For those of you who want to start in March or start in April, once you've confirmed your payment, you've made payment, you receive that email. It comes with a link for you to complete registration. That link to complete registration would look like this. Okay, I'll show you what it looks like. It would look like this. All right, so you'd see the February 2025 registration. You fill this form, you select this, click on next. The reason why I'm showing you this is simply because some of you might have questions. Okay, Adeiza, I want to secure the discount and I have some questions. I have 2 programs. I'm considering data analytics and business analysis. I'm not sure. Which one should I do? We have something we call the clarity session. It's good not to be sure. And that's why we are here. So once you've confirmed your payments, you'd have the opportunity to speak with me, my colleagues, experts in-house to help answer those questions, to help you select the program that would best suit you. In the meantime, you don't want all the discounts to go. So once you've made payments, you are filling this form, you select your type of payments. I want to show you what you need to do. Terms and conditions, select that. You have, you select 8 months, 12 months. If you have any questions regarding payments, all you have to do is send an email to finance@tenalytics.io and they will respond to you. Click on next. Your name, your last name, enter your Gmail, gender, click on next. Trump has told us that there are just 2 genders right now in the US. So we are following what Trump has said. So terms and conditions, you have your terms and conditions. If you want to reach out to us, you can send us emails, inquiries at Tenalytics, admissions at Tenalytics, telephone. You can reach out to any of my colleagues, click on next. Okay, you fill all this, fill all that, click on next. And when it gets to this point where you are meant to select the program you've registered for, let me maximize a bit. If you are sure of what you want to do, I want to do data science, business analysis, cybersecurity, select it. All right. But if you want to sit down with myself, the co-founder, any other experts to say, okay, I've paid because I want to do this. Okay. But I want to know between this and this, which one should I go for? Some of you might have those questions, right? All you have to do is select, I need to speak to a professional. Once you select this option, we receive it at the back end. We'll schedule you for a clarity session and we answer these questions for you. Click on next. For those of you who want to start in February, the next cohort is on the 8th of February. Okay. For some of you, you have commitments in February. You want to start in March. The next cohort is on the 8th of March. For some, you want to start in April. The next is on the 5th of April. So once you've secured your slot, you can decide to start either in February, March, or April. The good thing for you is if the discount is over, you don't have to pay anything more because you've already secured your slot. So that's the advantage that you have. All right. So that's what I would say you need to do to get started. Again, the discount is only for the first 20 people. I'm going to take questions for the next 10 minutes. So we wrap up right at the nick of the next 10 minutes, essentially. Okay, so if you have questions, you can type into the chat. If you have questions you want to speak, I can allow you to unmute yourself, but I'm just going to take a few questions, all right, because of time. Again, if you want the opportunity to sit down, have the clarity session, it doesn't matter, all you have to do is ensure you secure your discount, select I need to speak to a professional, and you have the opportunity to ask questions if you have any regarding the program you want to join. Somebody's asking, can you specify in dollars or CAD? You can select any currency you want. Okay, so let me show you again. It doesn't matter where you are. You are in Canada, you want to pay, say I want to pay for data engineering. Okay, let's use a different program, data engineering. I want to pay in dollars, US dollars. So data engineering, one seat is gone. So somebody has registered already for data engineering. Instead of 20, we have 19. So I come in here, US dollars. I see the amount in US dollars. I want to make payment in Canadian dollars. Maybe I'm in Canada, for example. Come in here, type CAD, Canadian dollars. You'd see the amount in Canadian dollars. I want to make payments in euros, okay, or in Naira, or in Rand, South African Rand. Any currency you want, you can get it here. I want to make payments in euros. You have euro right here. You can pay in euros. I want to pay in Naira, NGN. You'd see the Nigerian Naira. Select that. I want to make payments in Ghanaian CD, Rand. I think we have Rand. Yes, South African Rand. You can select that as well. So we have our students are from across the globe, and that's why we made this flexible. Irrespective of where you are, you can easily make payments to be a part of any of our programs. Okay, I hope I answered that question. Mr. Michael said, I just paid. My friend joined in November 2024 and got a job. Absolutely. These are the type of amazing story we always love to see. As a project manager with a Logitech company, it's my turn. I paid for data science. We look forward to working with you, Mr. Michael. Absolutely phenomenal. Now, Yewande is asking, can I keep on with my job search while on the program? Absolutely. If you listened to Ikmat, for those of you that listen to Ikmat, she got a job when she was still in the program. She hadn't completed. She hadn't even joined the internship. She was still, we had people who got their jobs. They didn't even wait to finish the program and they joined simply because I'll give you a typical example. For some companies, what they want is Excel, SQL, for example, Excel, SQL, and Power BI. Okay. Within 2 months, or 2.5 months within your program, you've completed Excel, SQL, and Power BI. So you can start applying to job at that point. And we always advise, don't apply to jobs at the end of the program. Apply to jobs during the program that meets your specific requirements. And these are some of the things we teach you how to do. When searching, how do I search and indicate the keywords to have or exclude the skills I don't have? These are some of the things we teach you how to do. So you see the jobs that meet your skills, meet your requirements, and you can start applying to those type of jobs. Uchechi is asking, can one attend classes either UK, Canada time? It's your choice. Okay, you have that flexibility. The class for those in the UK is in the morning, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you are not free at that time, you want to join the class for those in the US, Canada, which would be around 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. your time. Absolutely. So you can decide to join the class. It's flexible for you to join your classes at that, given time, depending on what fits your schedule. Elizabeth is asking, why has the course gone from 3 to 4 months to 8 months? Fantastic. So last year, the programs were minimum of 4 months. Okay, 3 months, 1 month internship. But based on feedback from majority of the people we work with a lot of professionals. So people working in care, for example, people who are doing their masters, but at the same time, they are still working and doing other jobs. We needed to make it more flexible. So it is not, choking for you. You have to go to school, you come back, you go for a particular shift, you come back, you have an assignment, you have a class. So now it's easier for you to, learn all the things you need to learn in a flexible approach. You have enough time. If you miss a class, catching up would not be an issue because you have all the support and all the time you have to catch up and get that done. That's on the one hand. On the other hand, we've also added more projects. We've added new technologies and also elongated the internship. Last month, the internship was 1 month to 2 months. Now it is 2 months to 6 months, depending on what you want to join. So we're doing all of this, changing with the dynamism of the market itself. What the market demands is what we offer to position you for the best opportunities and getting those jobs at the end of the day. I hope that answers your question, Elizabeth. So let's see more questions. Uchichi, I think I answered the question already. Is there any certificates at the end? Absolutely. You get a certificate when you are done. What if I leave the UK while doing the course? Can you help find a sponsored job out of the UK? Absolutely. So, like I mentioned, the strategies I shared with you, 1 to 3, can be done from anywhere. You can be outside the UK, you can be in Nigeria and do 1 to 3. Number 4 is visiting innovation and tech hubs, tech accelerators. So you have no choice but to attend those sessions. The only ones you can attend virtually outside Nigeria, outside the UK, is when you are attending virtually. Okay. But ideally, you want to be there physically, have those, conversations and so on. We have numerous students, alumni that work remotely and they work for these companies in the UK, Canada, in the US, and so on. Okay. Omotayo is saying the class is really loaded. Can't wait to be a part of the next cohort. Absolutely. We can't wait to have you as well, Omotayo. You learn all the best technologies that positions you for the job that you need to get. That'll give you that sponsorship at the end of the day. It doesn't matter where you are. Okay. Ashish is asking, suppose I get a cybersecurity course. Does the overall fees include other certification exams? No, it doesn't. So if you decide to go take an exam certification, that's at your own discretion. Okay. The program you join, what you join, all the things I've shared with you today, the technical skills, your live classes, your self-paced, your case studies, your portfolio, the projects you build, your CV, your LinkedIn, interview prep, all the good things I mentioned, those are the things that we will provide to you. If you want to do any exams, any certification, that's at your own convenience. But something I always like to tell, professionals like you who are looking to transition, remember this. If you don't take anything away from today's session, take this away. All right. And this is a phrase we always stand by. Competence over credentials. Competence over what? Credentials. Your credentials are your certifications, your degree, your masters. And most of you would have realized very quickly, my masters will not get me anywhere. Okay. 54% of graduates go on to work in career paths that are totally unrelated to what they studied. I studied industrial chemistry. I've been a data analyst, data scientist, and so on and so forth. 54% of people are like me. Your credentials, your certification does not matter. We looked at all the jobs from all the platforms. There was none that said certification in this. Okay. So don't bug yourself with irrelevancies. That's the same misconception you've been used to. It has gotten a lot of people nowhere. Okay. Competence over credential. What's your competence? Your competence includes your skills and your experience. Your skills, you're going to build that for the next 6 months. Your experience is you working on projects, case studies, and positioning yourself as a data analytics contractor with Tenalytics and Amdari, a HR data analyst with Tenalytics. So when employers see you, they know you are the right person because you already work with Tenalytics, you already work with Amdari. It shows that you are the good person, you are the right person for that particular job. But remember, credentials is secondary. Your certifications, all those things are secondary. I got my first job in the UK a month after I moved to the UK. I had zero certification, zero UK experience. So these are the misconceptions people have. Oh, I need to have this and that. I must have UK work experience. And you go work as a warehouse operative. How does working in the warehouse help you get a job as a data analyst because you want to gain UK work experience? It doesn't add up. Okay. So you want to ensure that you know the right things to say during interviews. What does UK experience mean? It simply means you having the ability to show that you can integrate into their culture when you start working with them. So when you go into the interview, you start with small talk. Okay. Oh, I was on LinkedIn yesterday. I saw some team bonding photos on your page. How often do you have team bonding activities? Oh, the snow has been so much this past few days. Is it snowing where you are coming from? What do you think about the weather? Start with small talk because these people want to see that you are likable. They're going to work with you. And they want to see that people in the UK like small talk. Even if you are not used to it, you have to learn it. Okay, in the workplace, the work environment. So you have to start to show that from the interview that you're confident enough to start those small talk, have those conversations. That's what shows them that you can fit into their culture. And that's what they are looking for. When they say UK work experience, Canadian work experience, that's exactly what it means. All right. So don't bug yourself, limit yourself with those misconceptions, and you don't get to apply to get jobs. Okay. Do you do full stack development? No, we don't do software engineering. Our full stack data science program, full stack data science, we call it full stack data science because you're not just learning supervised machine learning. You're learning supervised, unsupervised. You're not just learning data science using Python, but you'd also learn the other aspects that gives you the opportunity to apply to jobs as a data analyst. You'd learn Excel, you'd learn SQL, you'd learn Tableau. These would give you the skills to apply to jobs as a data analyst. And that's why we call it the full stack. It's all encompassing. Let me see. Nana is asking, what's if the luxury of time and what's okay? If you don't have the luxury of time. So right now, the best thing you can do, Nana, is your LMS, the self-paced platform. If you don't have the luxury of time, your self-paced platform, which is the LMS like this. So let's say you registered for data science, for example, the full stack data science. All the materials are there for you from week 0 all the way down to the last week of the training. Everything is there for you. All right. So you can watch your videos ahead of the class. You don't have to follow week by week. So you can watch ahead of the class. You can be ahead of the pack. Okay. And then when you join your drop-in sessions every Wednesdays, like I said, your drop-in sessions are like your makeup classes. You have the opportunity to ask questions from your trainer and so on. So you learn a bit faster. You can start applying to jobs a bit faster, and you have the materials right at your fingertips from week 1 all the way down to the final week. You can watch ahead of the class, and that's how you can, expedite the learning process for you. But the minimum learning time right now is for 6 months, 2 months internship, or you go for the 6 months, 6 months internship. So I'm going to start calling it a day. I know you have so many questions. Even though we're going to spend the next, I would say, 1 hour answering questions, and we don't leave here today. All right. If you've had an amazing time learning something new today, type in yes into the chat. And I'll show you one more thing, and then we call it a day. If you've learned something, value for your time, I promised you something. I'm going to get value for your time today. If you've gotten value for your time, type in yes into the chat. Fantastic. King Jedediah says, absolutely yes. Brilliant. So that's one of the things we always ensure that we try to do when you join sessions like this. Now, finally, before we leave here today, I want you to do one more thing, okay? Because you wouldn't have joined a Analytics session and you are not following us, you don't know the latest updates, you want to be ahead of the pack. Okay, so one of the things you want to do is go to YouTube, open up your YouTube, all right, search for Analytics, go to YouTube, search for Analytics. You'd see the Analytics logo. First of all, before you do anything else, subscribe. Click on subscribe to Analytics. So you're one of the first people that receive new updates. We have over 5 years worth of content for you right here. Okay. You can click on that, watch any video you want. So click on the Analytics logo, subscribe, and you can watch different sessions. I've held so many sessions in the past. You see all the amazing professionals I have on my slide that got jobs across different regions, from the UK to Canada to the US. Their videos are all here for you to watch. This is Hope. Hope Atogi recently got a job as an agile project manager. Okay, so you'd see this Analytics help me land a job in agile project management. You want to listen to Hope. You want to listen to Adeiza, your fantastic professional, cybersecurity. You want to listen to Abisola, machine learning engineer. Subscribe. You have numerous professionals to listen to. Okay, once you've done that on YouTube, I want you to also go to LinkedIn. All right, go to LinkedIn. Search for Analytics on LinkedIn. Okay, search for Analytics. So that's me right there, the session for today. So you're always one of the first to know what is going on. What is Analytics doing? How can I be a part of Analytics? So search for Analytics. All right, search for Analytics, follow us, and be a part of what we do. Finally, also follow me. Okay, I'll be looking to engage you guys. You have questions, feel free to ask me anytime. All right, so follow me on LinkedIn as well. My name is Adeiza Suleiman. I'll be very happy to engage with every single one of you. Okay, so that's the last two things I'll say you should do. Subscribe on YouTube. You're one of the first people. Follow us on LinkedIn, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, across all platforms. So you're always ahead of the pack. Okay, I think we're going to call it a day at the point. And I'll say thank you very much for being a part of your Saturdays. For those of you getting started in February, I'll be looking forward to working with you and helping you get into that next career journey. And for those of you who want to, you've made payments already, you have questions, we're going to have our clarity sessions coming in the next couple of days to help you decipher, should I do data engineering or business analysis? Once again, have an amazing Saturday, the rest of your Saturday, until we see in another masterclass. Cheers, everyone, and have an amazing weekend.